In my last video, I went over animation callbacks as well as just the general attacking using some variables that are saved within the player controller. I did forget to mention one thing, and that is if we happen to interrupt this animation. So animation interruptions can happen a few different ways. If we see here, if I start playing this and then I jump, the animation will get interrupted. I could solve this by performing a check for attacking and then allow for jumping. For now, I'm personally not going to worry about that. I think it's okay as it is. But in the case that that does happen, we want to create something that will help set us back, set all the variables back in case they don't properly exit. What can happen, I've seen this happen before, when you interrupt an animation, it won't properly exit. So, in fact, we can test here. Okay, didn't do that necessarily. But what can happen is we have the rule saying you have to have a time remaining of 0 on attack to leave. And when it leaves, we will do the attack complete custom event, which will then set this variable to false, but sometimes that won't trigger if we're interrupted, and then this could be left as still true, which could cause some problems. So we're going to create a custom event and just call it, we'll call it animation, got caps lock on, animation complete. And this is going to set a lot of our variables back, if not all of our variables back, to a default state whenever we enter the idle and running. So on state enter, we're going to do the animation complete. This just helps in the future, making sure that we put variables in here. I can show an example in my a bit more complicated. So this is my characters. It's a bit of a mess. I need to work on using other state machines and such. But if I show you, this is the character in which I have done the most work. And he has all sorts of different animations. He doesn't move properly right now because the I don't have him set up on my player controller, but he's got all sorts of different animations, and so it has become a bit of a mess. However, the one thing I've done is what I just said. Whenever we enter the basic kind of idle area, we do the animation complete, which this is a behemoth of a mess. I can get rid of those. It comes through and sets all sorts of variables back to just being false, ensuring that there are no interruption issues. Else we can have some kind of strange bugs that can be difficult to understand why they're happening. So yeah, we just want to make sure we have an animation complete that sets our variables back to being false or whatever their default state is. And that should be about it. As long as you've got that put right there, you should be good. Thanks for watching as always, and let me know if you have any questions.